Hello and welcome to Voice of the Fat Mantis. You're watching my review of Star Trek Strange New Worlds Episode 5, Spock Amok. Now, the title takes from the naming standards of Time Amok from the original series. However, it doesn't actually reference that thing. It actually has other references to other Vulcan and Spock episodes, particularly the one where he gets married. That's right, in the original series, we actually finally get to see the actual marriage take place of him and T'Pring. And I gotta say, in the opening scene, the cold open, they did a perfect replication of that scene. The set and everything felt like you were in that episode, only you were in high definition, and I loved it. We're gonna get more into an episode that I thought was just downright lovely. But before we do, I'm gonna ask you guys to like, share, and subscribe to Voice of the Fat Mantis, and leave a comment if you will. I love engaging with you guys, and I love it when you subscribe. Getting into it, this episode right here, episode 5, once again, another killer. This show is just killing it left and right. This entire episode was played for laughs. It was a fun, all around. It had 3 stories, an A story, a B story, and a C story. Every one of them were comedic, and every one of them were pulled off very well. It's where the cast and crew gets to do a shore leave at Starbase 1 as they have to repair for all the damage they took last episode when they're fighting the Gorn. This allows all sorts of shenanigans to take place. One of the main shenanigan points is classic Trek, classic science fiction, when Spock and his fiancée, T'Pring, look at her neck. She's like an Egyptian goddess. What a lucky man Spock is. Anyway, they accidentally switch minds while trying to engage in a Vulcan ritual, which allows them to understand each other and experience each other's deeper inner thoughts. It was a beautiful gesture on Spock's part. It was a beautiful gesture in it, and it was fun. The switching bodies, cliche, if you will. People will call it a trope. I call it a classic good time. The B story involves Una and Lan playing a game of Enterprise Bingo. That's where they have to fulfill a list of shenanigans that can be done throughout the Enterprise without being caught by security or higher officers. Originally, they are tough curmudgeons who work too much. They wouldn't normally do this, but they decided to live a little while the rest of the crew is vacationing on Starbase 1. It was played for laughs, and it was a very good time. Now, this is interesting. I noticed they keep revisiting this incredible bond these women have of both Una and Lan. Now, Star Trek is notorious about the relationships that it does. Normally, they're bromances. The original series was very much about the bromance of Kirk and Spock and McCoy, making them the 3 Musketeers, and their shenanigans going on there. Later on, Next Generation didn't have a 3-pronged attack of relationships. It had to do with the relationships mainly between Data and Picard, even though obviously the relationship of Picard or any captain is important with every crew member. That was the main bromance. In that one, at Deep Space Nine, we absolutely certainly had a family dynamic, where it was more important about your wife or your girlfriend or your children. There was a lot of children in Deep Space Nine where these relationships were. And they have now switched it up where it has become a chickmance? I don't know what the word for it is, but they're showing 2 strong working women who their relationship is tying the show together, and I absolutely adore it. I had a good time watching them play bingo, and I'm for more episodes of the shenanigans. This is the relationship that's going to take us to the future of space travel. Spock's storyline would eventually get us into a situation where he crosses Nurse Chapel. Now, you guys all know, I think I said this on my first episode review, I am so sure they're going to hook up. I believe there will be a romance between T'Pring, Spock, and Nurse Chapel, and I'm all about it. I really enjoyed this whole thing where Nurse Chapel's like a free spirit and doing her thing, and her and Spock have that energy, and you know, normally a lot of these things tend to do where the captain is the heartthrob, he's the sex symbol, but no, they're very much doing Ethan Peck's version of Spock, and it's working. I really can't wait to see, because Nurse Chapel's just so cute. I just really, I'm for this. Yeah, this is gonna beat out Twilight. This is the next Twilight love triangle. You heard it here first, folks. Now, when we're talking about sexuality and being sex symbols, this is what brings up my nitpick of the week. My nitpick of the week is where I complain whether canon or just general production problems. This one is about the costuming and the uniforms. Now, this shows the introduction of a classic Star Trek trope known as the captain's tunic. Later on, the captain's vest. Next Generation, DS9, they had the captain's vest. But originally, Kirk was rocking the captain's tunic. What is this, the whole thing? That there's always an additional part of wardrobe that a captain can wear, a man who works harder and busts his ass worse than everybody, where he can be more relaxed than everyone else, but has a regal feel that makes people understand this dude is in charge. In the original Star Trek, it had a green tint. It was a yellow outfit, but it had a green tint to it, making it look different than every other command uniform. It had an open neck which showed a lot of skin, and actually in Star Trek Delta, which normally is worn on the heart, is instead placed down on a belt area that ends the bottom of it. It's a dashing, almost swashbuckler look that tried to make Kirk look like he was on a classic old-school sailing ship, almost like he was a pirate or something. Now, they attempted to finally put this into production for Pike, and I have to say the costume guys have failed on every way. They have him wearing a black tee underneath that ruins the skin that he should be showing off about underneath it. They gave him 2 Star Trek Deltas, which makes even less sense because they're not communicators in this day and age. He doesn't need Starfleet Deltas all over the place, man. Like, this is Game of Thrones, and he was a Lannister with a lion or something, a lion motif everywhere. He just needs the one near the belt. Why they gave him a second one, I don't know. And another thing is, the point of the captain's tunic is to make the captain feel comfortable, which means he needs to have a relaxed fit, which means it should have a fit like a t-shirt. Form-fitting. Instead, they went with the other design where they put shoulder pads in there. Trust me, shoulder pads aren't as comfortable as you people from the 80s think they are. They're really not. So I have to say, their attempt to create the tunic was an utter fail. Does it disrupt the episode? Not really. Who really cares? I just like to nitpick, particularly uniform stuff. And so I really hope they go back to the drawing board on it and just make it look like Kirk's, man. Come on, bro. Just get with it. Other than that, I would absolutely say this episode has succeeded on almost every mark. It was amazing to watch. Star Trek Strange New Worlds is the show I am most happy to watch on a weekly basis. I can't wait till Thursday morning where I can wake up and first thing pop on an episode. This one was not a failure. Episode 5, Spock a Monk. I highly recommend it. The real question is, what did you guys think about it? Please let me know down in the comments. And remember to like, share, and subscribe to Voice of the Fat Mantis for more interviews, reviews, analysis, and breakdown of Star Trek, Star Wars, and all the nerdy news that is fit to print. Till next time, ciao for now.